Have you ever seen a harmless animation online and thought, I should tell that person to kill themselves? Well, then you're not normal and a pretty terrible person. Don't Touch My Pizza is an animation that caught the ire of TikTok for whatever reason, causing a lot of harassment and hate to land on the original video's comment section. Hello, I'm Dova, and it's my friend Mangoso who's going to read some fan responses. And today we're going to look into this weird event and try to feel a little bit better by the end of the video. 19-year-old artist Nyan Wolf would release their animation meme Don't Touch My Pizza July 14, 2024. Was it animated to a song of the same name as Nyan's animation? That song would be created June 2023 by Zombie Care.
Don't touch my pizza, don't touch my jelly. I don't like blue cheese cause it is really smelly.
And going to the Know Your Meme website, so we can actually see where a bit of the hate actually originated. December 15th, 2024, TikToker Funky Tracks would post a video of them drawing Nyan Wolf's OC, which would get over 1 million views in 3 months. And it wasn't until a few months later, in March 2025, did the song come back into relevance. It would go viral on TikTok again, with many people making fun of it. On March 17th, Funky Tracks would tweet out screenshots of the comment section, making fun of the 12-year-olds calling the animation cringe. What isn't cringe, however, is you stopping the draw for a second to tell me what you're working on. Also, I'm going to be at MomoCon 2025 as a guest. Keep that in mind for later in the video. Not the convention part, but the whatever you're drawing on part. Anyway, Nyan Wolf would close, then reopen the comment section after quite a while. However, luckily, someone archived the previous comment section. Looking at a tweet by BraggaGD that archived some of the comments, we can see a lot of what people were saying. The way the rope immediately hugged my neck. The way it's trying to be silly and nostalgic. Don't touch the pizza, don't touch the mic. If you're saying like, hey, that's not too bad, it's not too bad, well, check out the SoundCloud comments. I'm gonna twist your dick, you fucking blank. And fucking blank, blow your head off, I hope you get blanked and ran over, you fat ass blank TS is so ass I had to comment again. Not only would there be hate comments, but for some reason people would just be making up rumors, for no reason, I guess. To pull back a bit, of course, the animation and other art created by Nyan Wolf is an homage to the early 2000s and 2010s memes. You can argue that old YouTube incentivized a more creative side of the internet, as it wasn't motivated by profit. Not that you couldn't make money on the internet, of course, as many people did. With YouTube not focusing on watch time, this let more creators create whatever length of videos they want and post whenever they wanted to. Not only that, older memes would have lasted longer. A meme made in 2010 could easily have a shelf life of a few years before being deemed old. Is Grumpy Cat a good example? Yeah. But now memes can be outdated in a matter of a day or less. It was a really different time for the internet. Dink the Bird would tweet out,
I like the comment, quote, there's a reason this type of internet culture was left behind, by the way, end quote. Yeah, because the internet became a toxic hellhole that feeds users distilled negativity every day, and you hellspawn make it a point to drag everyone down with you.
Twitter user Vernexity would make a basic yet effective tweet saying, there's no good reason to hate this. There would be replies saying, I just hate it because it poorly emulates a style. Instead of putting effort into actually creating something from that time, it just slams a bunch of references from the 2010s in the video and calls it a day. I gotta be real, just gotta be real for a second, but those are not good reasons. And there's a difference between disliking something and actively hating it. There's no good reason to hate this, as it's just inoffensive. The comments we saw on the YouTube SoundCloud page were done out of hate and malice, to encourage the artist to give up and never try again. And this wasn't like 1 or 2 people, it was like hundreds and hundreds of comments. Every piece of art is an expression of the person behind it. In this case, it was to emulate and have fun with the bygone era of the internet. One that would have loved this animation and probably would have gotten a vague reference on Cartoon Network back in the day. However, with the modern incentive for negativity, people would see this creation and choose to berate and belittle the artist for even trying. There is that classic quote from Tyler the Creator in 2012 about cyberboarding being fake. You know, joking about walking away from the screen and closing your eyes. It is a pretty funny exaggeration, as generally, yeah, I guess you could do that. However, the hate, either sincere or not, still affects the artist, and even as a joke, still piles up over time. To get notifications that someone commented to you that you should kill yourself because of how awful your art is, that you are so terrible that trying won't do you any good, is not a healthy thing to do on the internet, I would say. And I've been on both sides of this, at least not that severe, I would say, and they tell you it's not a good thing to be a part of on, well, either side. In many of my videos on this channel, I go over art and how the greater internet, such as TikTok and Twitter, react to it. Oftentimes, it's a result of someone being vulnerable or unironic in their creation of art, but someone dared to be real in any sense of the word. This can be about opening up about their professor, and people would say they can't take this sort of seriously because of the art style, or even Joe Cat making an animation about liking girls, but the hate against them was justified in some eyes because it was deemed cringe. I've often talked about the idea that Twitter incentivizes hate as you get paid for having the most liked and viewed tweets, and oftentimes it is just reposting or making fun of other people. Perhaps this trickles down to other websites as well as people who consume the content. That if being mean to others, especially artists, gets me attention and likes, then I want to be in that circle and I want to join them. Twitter and TikTok may not be the best place for artists, the former for many reasons. To see the joyful nature of users running things through AI filters to make fun of artists losing their jobs, making fun of people for even trying to create, and just the general sense of dread the website emboldens. TikTok, I'm starting to find, as it incentivizes shorter videos, it seems to incentivize shorter responses and even thoughts. And to see, quote, everyone making fun of this animation leads into that mob mentality. That if everyone else is making fun of them, well, why can't I join? It's just one more straw. Surely the Campbell's gonna be fine. This also can actually go into the opposite direction, of course, with ironic positive reinforcement. To enjoy something or encourage at a level of irony that fills a different mood and is no lesser hurtful to the artist. Any artist, or I guess anyone on the internet I suppose, is free to block or ban anyone from their life that they deem harmful or annoying. Look and say, this is the internet, people definitely will be mean to you, you gotta get used to it, but there's also where the artist creates, and they can control the space in which they want to create in. Not the idea of putting themselves in a bubble, but in the same vein of there's no reason to hate, this is inoffensive, one can also say there's no use in keeping a commenter if all they do is come back to shut on the work every time the artist posts. What good is that really? There's actually a song by Tizo Touchdown called Impossible that talks about the sort of negativity with creating art. The first two lyrics encapsulates this. Maybe they were gonna be a painter until somebody said they couldn't paint. Maybe they were gonna be the next John Michelle till somebody yelled, no you ain't. This can also go into your interpersonal friendships. If you surround yourself with negativity, you fall into the trap of not being able to properly express yourself. Perhaps fear of being made fun of from your own group. I used to be around more critical creators, and it sort of felt hollow. There was a lack of art being made for myself. To engage with distaste and disregard was unhealthy for me. It wasn't until I broke out of those circles and found friendships with actual artists that I find more happiness in creating. In fact, I don't think I would have this channel the way it is if it wasn't for where I am now. Surrounding yourself and your creativity with a more positive outlook, you can be more fulfilled with how you create online. Art is what you make of it. You can post and delete whatever you like. If you create something, you're in control of keeping it up, taking it down, or posting wherever you like. Of course, removing people if you deem so fit. You don't have to keep around harassers, because it's like, I don't know, they're not gonna make me better at art. That's why I often recommend Blue Sky more than Twitter, as it's generally a more positive environment, with a way better content moderation system. And that's where I post my art. But anyway, I also asked my audience what they thought about the animation, and here's the thoughts. What did they say?
I thought it was a cute little video. Didn't think much of it after I clicked off. Don't understand the hate though, because it's such a non-issue, LMAO. I feel like the hate is very forced because of its traction to an audience larger than intended. I personally don't see anything wrong with the animation or song, and I believe people should let other people enjoy things they personally enjoy, instead of punching others down because they don't like something someone else does. I originally found this creator from their Valentine Cannibal animation, and was very stoked about it. I'm not sure how old they are, but their work harkens back to animations made back in the late 2000s. Not TV animation, not even Newgrounds animation, but distinctly early YouTube. Back when I was 12 years old, that's 2007, I couldn't afford Adobe Flash, and instead I would animate in a combo of MS Paint and Windows Movie Maker. And so did many of my online friends. And they all looked like this. Whether or not this artist comes from that era, it's cool to see a tradition of sorts being kept alive. Heart. Man, this cartoon's really cute. It's got a cute OC, it's got Macleod's Pixel Peeker Polka, it's got the whole shebang. I understand that seeing something on the internet multiple times everywhere can be annoying, really, but we gotta draw the line with harassment. The hate starts to sound so absurd, it makes fucking rubber chickens seem so serious. And some of these are from artists too. Why are we shitting on that? I swear to God, some of y'all are too quick to pretend that you didn't grow up with Warrior Cat shit or some form of fandom content. I see you. I see you. Twitter can really be the spawning grounds for professional shitters sometimes, acting like they lost their favorite vibrator. Like the guy said, it's such a non-issue, turning paper cuts into goddamn flesh wounds. Nonetheless, I thought it was really cute. Who cares what other people say? Fuck the people who are harassing Nyan Wolf. I hope Nyan Wolf thrives and makes more cool stuff. Nonetheless, I hope Nyan Wolf doesn't stop making content because of this, because it's cute and it's fun, and I hope they have fun making it.
Early in the video, it asked you, the viewer, what you were working on, and there was a point to that. Besides viewer engagement, which, thank you by the way, other artists can look at the comments and see other people creating. That the same video you're watching right now while drawing was once viewed by someone also creating. That while the YouTube comments aren't much of a community as, say, Discord is, which I do have by the way, there is some solace in knowing that there are others like you pursuing their creativity online. While there are stories like the one I went over today, I always hope the creators are still able to continue, that the negativity doesn't burn out their artistic endeavors. For Nyan Wolf, that is such the case. Tweeting out April 1st, 2025, always will keep making content. I love animating because it's fun. Also, on a lighter note, many people would make fun fan art to the character, with Nyan Wolf retweeting a bunch of the artworks. They would even poke fun at people for saying that their animation sucks. Fun drawing. And on April 1st, 2025, they would make a video addressing all the haters. At the end of the day, creators like Nyan Wolf put themselves out there in the world, and while commenters like the one we've seen only exist to tear down people for even trying. I suppose at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide what kind of person you want to be. Until next time, I've been Dovin, and don't forget to have a good day. Please. Some of you forgot last time.